Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. It is Friday What? Friday morning? Are you kidding me? Friday morning, June the 28th. Rise and shine. This is Coffee Talk on a beautiful morning in Central Florida. I'm WESH 2 First Warning Meteorologist Eric Burris. Hope you're having a great start to the day. Tower Cam Network looking fantastic this morning across town. If you've got out and about plans, I think you're going to be good to go early in the day. Later in the day, we may get into some questionable stuff. You know how this stuff works, right? Orlando looking good at the airport. Let's head over to downtown, see what's down. Oh, how pretty is that, right? Blue sky over top. The tourist district. Check in there. We got the swan and the dolphin. Yeah, looking very nice. All right, let's head over to the port, see what's doing. Oh, eyes. Okay, couple things here, right? Like first off, we've got, let me tilt this down. It's a cleaning. Yes, there we go. All right. So first off, beautiful Disney ship. I don't know which one it is, but what what are you? That's for 8 o'clock in the morning. Um, yesterday, okay, so yesterday I had my FAA thing. Ground stuff went great, got through that fine. Couldn't go fly because the storm started early. And I'm looking at this guy and I'm like, what are you already? Right? How many people are over at the beach? All right, so there's some people already lining up. Yeah, it's a lovely morning. All right, now that said, looking at that tower cam, let's pop up our radar. Where are those storms located? Yup, already. It's like 8 o'clock in the morning, and already we're watching rain. So let's zoom in here. These earlier starting rains. Man, oh man. If you live out near Wildwood, Rutland, there's Denellen, Hernando. Some nice heavy rains there. Velocity not looking wicked or anything. But, the brighter colors indicating maybe some gustier winds. Am I connected to the correct microphone? Maybe not. Let me check. I'm not. There we go. Is that better? Thank you for pointing that out. Yeah. I'm talking into this microphone, but I was using the webcam microphone. Is that better? Sorry about that. Why do you sound weirder than usual? I had the wrong microphone set up. My bad. My bad. Totally my bad. Anyway, so we've got a little bit of rainfall showing up on our live radar. Um, Nothing severe or anything, but it's one of those indicators that, like yesterday, we're going to have an earlier start to the rain. Good times. Never a dull moment in the world of Central Florida weather. Temperatures out the door right now, not looking bad. We're in the lower 80s. 12-hour forecast. Notice that earlier start, right? 11 o'clock, 20% coverage. 1 p.m., 40% coverage. And then by 3 p.m., it's a 60% coverage. So plenty of showers and thunder showers out there today. And like yesterday, what hosed me is that earlier start. Let's dial up the Futurecast model. Sometimes my eye just does not see the one I'm supposed to use. That's the Kennedy Space Center one. This is the one. All right. So this is standard Futurecast. And yeah, so what? First takeaway, doesn't really see that rain right now, but at least it's showing an earlier start to the stuff, right? Like there's 3 p.m. widely scattered showers and storms, widely scattered through 5 p.m. Bubbling. Look at that. And then really wanting to hang out east. So that's the standard long range Futurecast, but let's go to the rapid update cycle Futurecast. And I'm just curious if this is showing anything different. So 12, 12:30, 1 o'clock, really getting that West Coast sea breeze going. By 4 p.m., I mean, that's a high coverage of showers and thunder showers. And then, yeah, both the rapid update and the extended Futurecast are showing a kablowy out east of town. So, in terms of today's rain coverage, shouldn't be a surprise. We're getting a decent coverage out west this morning, but Metro East is where we're going to get the big coverage of those afternoon thunderstorms. So I think it's safe to say that it's going to be a stormy day. You okay with that? Kathy says Melbourne does not need the heavy rain, yes, but no more tornadoes. Yeah, let's talk about Florida always wanting to Florida. Yesterday's a great example. Now, you may or may not know, but I've been doing a lot of flying and getting through some testing here. Had a great ground test yesterday. The oral portion, weather grounded me, so I wasn't able to go fly. But I was still posting radar as I could. But yesterday, and I shared the video that I saw on Twitter. But yeah, ironically, right near the National Weather Service office, right near the radar. Sarno, like I know Sarno Road because every time I go down to the National Weather Service office, it's off of Sarno Road. And so I'm getting on Twitter yesterday and I'm like, Sarno Road. Literally, it was so close to the radar that they may not have even seen the couplet because it was in their cone of silence. Um, so that's always interesting. But nevertheless, 75 mile per hour, according to the Doppler radars that they had access to, um, didn't look like there was any significant damage. I mean, there was some decent damage, but didn't look like there was any like significant damage, at least not that I saw. But again, I've been kind of out of the pocket. I was off yesterday, off of work today. So this is where I'm starting my new schedule. So off yesterday, off today, work Saturday, and then my new days off of Sunday and Monday. So work schedule's a little fakakta, but here we are. So anyway, yeah, no more tornadoes, hopefully, out your way. But this is an example of Florida's going to Florida. Florida always does Florida things. So there you go. In terms of rain chances, we know we've got them every afternoon. But in terms of the threat for severe weather, this is what I always try to teach people that come, the new meteorologists that come in. It's like you have to understand Florida's going to Florida, and it's more than just it's more than just a funny anecdote. Literally, that's the way to forecast. Tiffany says Ocala looked like there was a small tornado that came through, but nothing was reported. And if it came through kind of a more rural area, Tiffany, then that's definitely a possibility. Laura says, "Wait, you get a weekend day off?" Yes. So, yes, yeah. Got a little schedule shift for the first time since having children. Honestly, I had 1 year where I had weekends off and my entire 22-year television career. And so effective this weekend, my new days off are Sunday, Monday. I didn't get the whole weekend off, but I will now have Sundays and Mondays off. So there's a lot to be grateful for. I'm excited to finally have some opportunities to take my kids and go camping and do all the things that I've never been able to do. So excited about it. So Laura, yes, and thank you for that. Lucas is asking, how exactly do they confirm a tornado touchdown? Yeah, so you can look at Doppler radar and see if debris was lifted off the ground using different techniques. Or in the case of yesterday, I mean, it was literally right out the front door of the National Weather Service office. So all they had to do was go open the door and turn and look the corner. You're looking for debris in two different directions. Straight line winds, all the debris, all the trees are going to be in one direction. But if you kind of start to see things twisting like this, you kind of start to get the indication that there's swirling. Remember, though, wind is dangerous. Wind is powerful. It doesn't have to be a tornado to hurt or to damage. So to that point, you know, it could have or could not have been. Let me pull up I got a tweet Let me pull up the video. I tweeted it out, but maybe you're not on my Twitter. I know it's not called Twitter anymore. I know. I get it. I don't care. It's always going to be called Twitter to me. All right, so here's the video that I got. I saw it, and it was sent to the National Weather Service as well. But like this will give you an idea of why they were able to confirm it per se. I mean, that looks like it to me. You know, that was from Only Gav on Twitter. You know, look at it again here. Look kind of at the center of the screen there, right? I mean, it's got a look, and particularly if the Doppler radar indicated it, then that's a clear indication there. So anyway, that's the video that was sent. I got it. National Weather Service got it, and the thing to remember is tornadoes come in all shapes and sizes, and in Florida, tornadoes are typically very, very weak in nature. When we talk about tornadoes out in the Midwest, you're thinking certainly of the like unbelievably destructive EF3s and EF4s and EF5. In Florida, we get most of them are EF0s, and that one yesterday was rated as an EF0, which means that in terms of wind, you're looking at 65 to 85. So it's minor damage, a considerably weak tornado. Once you get into the EF1, you're talking some significant winds. I mean, into hurricane force even on an EF0, but it's pretty quick hit. But once you get these quick hits even higher, that's where we can be talking about some significant impact. So yesterday was an EF0 tornado, as are most of the ones here in our area. Doesn't mean all of them. Thinking back to 2007, the Groundhog Day tornadoes, thinking back to 1998, the February tornado, so there are indications of stronger tornadoes. All right. Melissa's asking, can we talk about 95 and what's going on? Yes. Any other questions about the local forecast? And then we've got a lot of tropics to talk about. Anything at all? Pat says, ready for more rain tomorrow. I need to add pool water. I'm adding pool water as we speak. I literally just ran the hose out. Cats and tats and gats says that shirt makes your eyes look very blue. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, Michael, Eric, the WESH forecasts go out to 4th of July. Can you cheat and give us a hint for the entire holiday weekend? We can look, but while we're talking about the 4th of July, here's the first idea. Hot as can be and lowered rain chances. And I would add, that's the day I'm doing the flight portion of my test. The next opportunity I got was 8 o'clock in the morning that day, which means probably not going to have a coffee talk that day. So I don't know. Maybe I'll try and pop on. We'll figure it out. But anyway, so to that point, but Michael over on YouTube asking about going beyond. Yes, we can look at the model data together when we get into the tropics and do all of that. Taylor says saying X makes it feel dirty. It's just not X. I know it's X, but like even on my phones, even on my phone, okay, even on my phone, it's I still turned the icon. I made a shortcut just so that the icon could still be Twitter. So anyway, all right. Shall we talk about the tropics, my friends? We've got a lot going on. Like I literally blink my eyes, y'all, and all hell breaks loose. What's going on? All right, so here's the tropical satellite. And if you told me that this was late June, I would probably say like, you got to be kidding me. This is not quite a late June scenario. So first and foremost, the big area that has probably your attention and most people's attention is going to be this guy here at the center of the screen, a low rider. That's Invest 95. Invest 95, tagged from the Hurricane Center. It's there on the left part of the screen. Now has a high likelihood of developing, a 90% chance over the next 2 days' time. Frankly, I would be shocked if we don't have it today or tomorrow. I mean, it's looking healthy today. Eric, it's being asked, is Denellen going to get a hurricane Thursday, July 4th? It's not. Okay, so conditions are favorable for development. We're thinking that next couple of days we're going to get something forming here. Now, I've seen some people talking about how we need to start preparing for a hurricane in Florida with this thing. Oh man, and this is one of those cases where I just hate hype so much. So let's look at all the data together. That way you can feel better. First off, the computer models, the tropical models that everybody knows and loves, the spaghetti plots, as we so often refer to them. Okay. There they are. Now, a couple of things to take away from this. When we look at spaghetti plots, the tighter they are, the higher the confidence is. The wider they are, the lower the confidence is. And when we look at ensembles, it's kind of the same idea. Ensemble plots are designed to give us many variations on a theme, and so it gives us an idea of confidence. So when we get to the ensembles, I want you to remember that, okay? So there's the tropical models. Essentially, it will start to gain latitude, moving into the Caribbean, at which point in time, we have to kind of figure it out and see where this goes, all right? So let's start digging into the raw model data here, all right? This is the American GFS model. And I've fixed it into the Caribbean just so that we can kind of get an idea of what's going on down the pike. So first off, there it is. That is the morning of Monday, July 1st. Okay. In terms of winds, that is winds gusting to a hurricane. All right. So progressing on, that is Tuesday morning, south of Puerto Rico. Could Puerto Rico get into some, you like that, Karen? Thank you. Puerto Rico could get into some gustier winds, that sort of thing. Certainly some squally weather. That shows winds gusting to 94 miles an hour there. All right. Not in Puerto Rico, but in the storm. All right. Now, by here, this is Wednesday, July 3rd. It's on the south side of Hispaniola as a tropical storm. And then you have another system, which would probably become Invest 96 here pretty shortly, coming into the Caribbean islands. All right. And then it kind of moves through. Let me switch back. And then the GFS kind of weakens both of them back down to just kind of sloppy lows. And what you end up with, and let me back this up. You say you've got two succinct lows here on Wednesday, July 3rd. Watch. Blech. They weaken because of land interaction with the first one. It's Hispaniola. Then it kind of stumbles around Jamaica and Cuba. The second one has an opportunity to get a little bit stronger, and then it kind of gets into some upwelled water. And so you end up with this broad, sloppy low. That's July 5th. Okay? Are we following each other so far? That's good. The indications, at least here on the GFS model, are that none of these should get too organized. And then what you end up with is like a piece of energy coming up into South Florida around July 6th and then doing its thing. Okay, now I point this out, but I also want to point out that while the GFS, the reason that we always say like one run of one computer model is that not every model, not all of them agree. Like, for example, GFS weakens it, but the intensity models, the intensity tropical models, some of them are going stronger than just a, like the GFS brings it to a category 1 hurricane and then weakens it. Whereas you can see there are some intensity models bringing it to a category 2 or even a category 3 intensity. So, you just kind of have to roll with those punches and just understand that that's one run of one model. All right, so let's do this. Let's switch over to the European and let's see what the European is showing. All right. First off, there's near the Yucatan Peninsula, Costa Maya, Cozumel area, Belize, near the Tea and Talk. There's What is that? Invest 94 doing its thing, working into the Bay of Campeche and eventually into Mexico. But there you go. That is Monday morning, July 1st. So between the Euro and the GFS, they're pretty much identical. In terms of winds, we're looking at the Europeans weaker. That would be winds of 61 miles an hour. So that's a tropical storm. All right. Rolling it in. All right. Now we're getting into hurricane status there. Now, one thing that's interesting. Okay, so let me full transparency here. So, this flavor of the European, the 6Z, only goes out 90 hours. So that's zero. So that's Monday evening at 8 p.m. to July 1st. Okay, 77 miles per hour. That exact same time to go. The 6Z and the 18Z only go out 90 hours. The 0Z and the 12Z go out further. So I have to switch at this point. But notice the difference. 77 miles per hour on the 6Z, 97 miles per hour on the 0Z. So the European is trending weaker from run to run. Okay, but anyway, we'll continue it. That's 106. That's 113, 106. The European is markedly south, missing the islands there, right? And because it's missing the islands, it's still a hurricane south of Jamaica. And then it runs into like Belize, Honduras, Central America, Mexico, and does its thing. And the European does not really pick up on that secondary thing, right? There it is. It kind of sees it. Nothing really. So that's the European. Let's go back. Let's switch over to the European AI model. There it is. Keeping it south, going into Central America. What's the AI model going for winds? Again, I have no way of telling you biases on the AI model because this is the first year to have it. The AI model never brings it up to hurricane intensity. So I can't tell you I like the AI model or I don't. Just not enough work with it. Okay. All right. So there's that. All right. Now to the. All right. Before we move on, questions, and then we can go on to ensembles. Is anybody like, what's this guy talking about? I want to make sure everybody's good. I want to make sure everybody's good. AI can't be trusted, Tammy says. Yeah, I would actually agree with that. Matt, Invest 95 math-wise, July 9th plus 47 days. We'll put this pretty close to Gulf of Florida storm, to the Gulf to Florida storm in mid to late August. I mean, this is that part of the pattern, I think, Matt. I mean, I've not been focusing on weather. I've been focusing on flying, so I can't like promise, but this seemingly fits that part of the pattern. Lucas is asking, can you explain the difference between an invest and a potential tropical cyclone? Yeah, the only difference is in the coding on the National Weather Service or on the National Hurricane Center side. A potential tropical cyclone is just an invest that the Weather Service wants to be able to issue a forecast cone for and issue advisories for because it's getting close to land. So think of it as an invest and a PTC are no different. The only reason that it gets that designation is because they want to be able to start warning people. An invest is not immediately threatening, whereas a potential tropical cyclone is just an invest that is immediately threatening people that the Hurricane Center wants to be able to warn. All right? All right, so that's where we're at. Questions about it? I'm being a hyper, am I, Taylor? All right, so let's look at the ensembles together. All right, rolling through. There's all of the little indicators in the Caribbean, right? And yeah, I mean, it's the problem with this is it's the GFS is not deepening it wickedly. Yeah, there's going to be some slop around. There's going to be some slop around, right? No massive strong signatures. There's some ensemble members that may want to bring it a little closer to us, but at the moment, I'm not overly concerned. Let's look at the European ensembles. There's the groupings, right? The European ensembles, interestingly enough, the European ensembles seemingly want to be a little stronger. Yeah. And then you've kind of got, it looks like the first one wants to stay south. The second one may want to recurve a little bit more. So to me, it's almost like that second one would be the area that we need to watch. So let's talk about this. So you've got Invest 95, which is the first one, right? All right, there it is. All right, 90% chance of formation. Then immediately behind it is what will eventually become Invest 96. This is that second one that the models are kind of talking about. So, for perspective, there's Invest 95. There's that first system. It's going to be this one that some of the models are kind of trying to recurve. So I'll have to watch. That is a low end chance. It's just kind of starting to show up. And then, of course, there's Invest 94 out in the Caribbean Sea. We'll cross over. This is the kind of stuff that I was sailing through on my cruise. Nothing too like wickedly scary. Yeah. So there's that. So to look at it all, there's your development percentages. There's a lot going on this tropical map. Oh, let me refresh. Hold on. I think Kellyanne changed this around. Yeah. So there we are. The beginning of our season is here. Just saying, get your dodo together so shelves don't get cleared in the future. Your prep helps all. Oh yeah, just get your stuff. Start looking. That's busy look. That's a busy look though. That's a busy look. Because I'm not at work, I don't have any of like my pre-prepped graphics for like comparisons and all this stuff. But yeah, there's kind of just the tropical map. And then, in addition to that, like look at this wave coming off the coast of Africa. Does it get its sea legs, There's that. Mommy Rain Ewick. Oh, Laura, we struggle with the R's. I get it. I get it. Mornings are hard. Talking is hard. Pretty interesting though to see this in June. Definitely when you look climatologically at June, the month of June is typically, these are your typical June formation spots, and even July. July, we just usually start opening up the Atlantic. So things are waking up, and perhaps more than we would normally see this time of year. You know, you're asking about the Saharan dust, Tammy. So here's the current Saharan dust layer. There's Saharan air in the Gulf, in the Caribbean, and so these systems do look to be kind of heading that direction. Yeah. So plenty of Saharan dust still around. Here's the modeling for the Saharan dust. Give it a second to load. Someone on Twitter was talking about 2005 analog for this year. The only reason that person was saying it is because 2005 was a wicked season. Let's just calm the heck down. I mean, let's watch. It's okay to make our conversation, but there's one thing about Twitter is it's a friggin' dumpster. It stinks of people's opinions, right? Like 2005, the reason that people are saying that is because it was a wicked season, but temperatures, atmospheric pattern, like there, as I recall, 2005 was not one of my analogs looking at the actual overall atmosphere, but to each their own. We're all entitled to opinions, and most of them smell really bad like an armpit. So anyway, you can kind of see a lot of Saharan dust, but it's kind of neat if you look around the Antilles there. You can almost kind of see like a counterclockwise spin. Just really neat. If this doesn't tell you that our atmosphere is fluid, I don't know what does. But suffice to say, yes, lots of Saharan dusts, but these systems are kind of getting through. Debbie, your armpits stink too if you didn't use any deodorant. You and I both know that. So anyway, that's kind of where we're at tropically. You know, looks like coffee stirring. It's kind of cool, isn't it? I like it. Opinions are like BHs. We all have them, and most of them stink. Tammy, it's a good point. That's why I've just started ignoring almost everything on Twitter. I'll make my posts, but as far as like reading people's hatred comments, screw them. That's where I'm at. All right. So Tropics definitely waking up. Troy's asking, do you have the BSR? So I looked at it a little bit. This time of year, it doesn't really do. It just doesn't. I looked at it a little bit this morning. It's not. So, um, it's not even really Troy worth looking much into. Yeah. Twitter has become an echo chamber for hate. Well, I can promise you I won't be spewing hate on my Twitter account. I'll be giving you weather information, but um, I won't be reading most people's comments. Some, but not a lot. Just because so many people are rude and awful, and even TV meteorologists and academia meteorologists, like just a lot of nastiness. So screw them. So anyway, it's gonna storm today. It's gonna storm tomorrow. It's gonna storm. We've got a pretty nice and stormy pattern. But looking into 4th of July area, um, rain chances coming down a little bit as that Saharan dust gets into our area, and then temperatures are starting to climb. Yeah. Can we bring back troll roasts? Read the comments. I've got marshmallows. I mean, you know what it is. I don't like negativity. I want to try and no, you can comment, Jenny. I read it. I just don't. I've gone on a spree of muting a ton of people. So like as long as you're not being awful, I'm not going to mute you and I'll read your comment. But like the second somebody posts something negative, they're gone. I just don't have any time to read it. I don't want to read any negativity. Yeah. Troy, reason I'm watching 95 a bit more is because the July 9th. Yeah. Yeah. So, when you look at that part of the pattern, right? So when we compare it to our long range forecasting, um, yeah, this is probably this part of the pattern. So, yeah, August 18th through the 26th. That'll be something. And to that point, like July 3rd through 10th, South Florida, right? Like let's pop back up. And it's one model run of one model, but if we look at what the GFS is showing, like the GFS is slopping it all up, and then look what it's doing with that low, right? Like that's the 6th of July. It's popping that in there. That's right in that time frame. So there's no guarantees to anything, but the way I look at it is I put the forecast out and then I don't touch it. I let it be. People spew hate about forecast, whatever. Screw them. I don't have time for it. I don't have enough emotional mana. I think that's the biggest thing. Like emotional man. I'm not going to let anybody else control my emotions. I have control, and I only have so much of my emotion to go around. Did you see Mark Finan from KCRA retired after like 29 years? Crazy, I bet you hit like 45, 50 by the time you retired since you started so young. So Christy, yeah, I knew that was coming. I didn't know that it had happened. Good for him. Yeah, so I have 22 years in TV already. And I think I've got, I mean, I'm 40, so what? I've got another 25 years? Crap. Jesus. 22, 32, 40. I could hit 47 if I go to 65. I could vault. I could vault. Kelly, that was some wisdom. I could argue about your emotions, but I won't. Oh, man. I have control of my emotions and what I speak, but I promise you, my face will say it all. Love that. Love that. I never let external influences dictate your internal emotional state. That's something that I have to continue to work on. We're all works in progress, right? So anyway, all right. Are we good? Are we good? Shelly, how long does the Saharan dust stay in our area? Concerned for a loved one with COPD. Looking at next week, the Saharan dust will be around. So we just need to, watch that air quality index, right? All right. All right. Listen. Well, that's depressing. I try to pretend I only have 10 more years until retirement, but that is unrealistic. I know. I know. That was the first thing I thought of when I hit 40s. I'm like, I have 25 more years. And then my next thought was like, wonder what TV is going to look like in 25 more years. Chris says you should add a pic of you flying with the Blue Angels to the pics behind you. It's going here. I just haven't done it yet, but this is the space. Not that, the two side boosters are not awesome, but it needs to go here. So, all right. I will see you guys and gals tomorrow morning on Wesh 2 News Sunrise, and then as well on Coffee Talk at 8 a.m. tomorrow. Does that sound good? Everybody good? Yeah. Oh, on the website, Matt. All right, I have to go change that. Also, we're um in terms of Jeremy and my long range forecast, we shuffled the dates a couple of days this way and that way, like twice in the off season. Previous. So I think what we're going to do is next year we're looking at March the 1st. We're going to set it up, and then on June the 1st or something, we're gonna do our only update for dates. We're never going to change numbers. We're never going to change hotspots, but the dates are the part that we may shuffle around, and we've shuffled them around a couple of days here and a couple of days there. But next year we're coming up with a formulaic plan for it. So yeah, Taylor says we're going to peer pressure you daily for the picture now. Good. Well, what's so funny, and you'll appreciate this, I still have all of the pictures that I have swapped out sitting on my desk. Like you want to talk about ADHD. All right, be the sunshine in someone else's day. I'll see y'all later. Bye.